Hi, this is my portfolio project assignment draft. This is quite rough. I just have my basic outline plan, but no words have been put in yet. That'll be something that I do in the next few lessons. So was the start of the course where we learned basic graphing of levels, and this was more of a creative freedom type of project, and the goal was to see how far I could alter an image using the colors given within its own palette, whether that's turning it down or turning it up. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to write in my text box. My goal is more visuals and less text, especially as most manipulation can be interpretive. Then the next slide might look a little similar, but you might notice that it's not just an entire sheet that I have made a different color. This is all about masking and learning about sharp masks like up here and down here, changing just one segment, also here, and kind of more of a fray and more of a chosen mask, which also incorporates some of the regular color shown in the lion image. The next one is about complete alterations and filters. So the two on the left are filters, and the one on the right is painting, which I think is so cool. But in creating a different layer, if you paint on it, it becomes a filter. Essentially, you can take it on and off. So that's what I really want to go into detail down here, as I just felt that this car photo that I loved, that I restored from black and white, just fit in the best with the filtered photos. Then this is one of my favorite slides because it talks about opacity and fill and how those are different, and also the different ways to incorporate different photos. Because as we can see here, all of these photos, you're able to see the fore image and the back image, the background image, but they're all mixed in different ways. Then the next slide shows all about layering. I love the rabbit in the wine glass. It's such a clean layer. Down here is more of an interpretive layer, not so clean, but still gets a point across. Also involves a front ground, a middle ground, and a background. And then over here was more of an advertisement in that way, but again, it kind of shows how you can make what looks to be a pretty serious image, and you can layer and level anything within it. The next is, I'm kind of going to title it like Who's Who sort of thing, because each photo is edited a different way, but which means that it adds or takes away from a photo in a certain light, and I just find that so interesting. And I also feel like this day specifically working on this assignment, where I had to turn in 8 different edited photos, or 8 different edited ways of the same photo, was one of the most crucial days for me, and one of my biggest growing days, because I had a lot of struggles, but by the end I could manipulate this image and most images any way that I could envision it, which was really awesome. And the next slide uses a same background image as before, but I love that image. It became so easy to work with. But this image is again about comparison, but also about gradients. I used gradient and fill in both of these, and I wanted to talk about more seriousness, like this left one over here. That could really be a poster for something, and to the right, making the same image in a completely different headspace. And then the very last one, I wanted to talk about textures, because textures can be a filter. It can also be a layer. There's so many ways to have an effect on texture, but I also want to talk about within textures how when a texture is added, color also needs to make a change.